अच्छा, हाँ वही क्लास लगी वही ना, देखा है, इससे ज़्यादा नहीं देखा और कुछ भी है। अच्छा ठीक है।
Talking Mickey Mouse.
Really?
Hi guys, a very warm welcome to the another session of this 10-day bootcamp of getting started with data science. Again, like this is Satipja and I work with the learning team at Creatum. I guess I'm audible. Quick yes in the chat would be helpful. Yeah. Okay. Guys, the agenda for today's session again would be a doubt clearing session in case if you have any doubt with respect to any query you have in terms of how to transition your career, or even like if you have started doing any project, and even with the Python code you have any doubt or any topic you want me to just quickly touch up, we can do it over here. So this would be an hour-long session, and let's keep the questions coming in through the chat. So whatever doubt you have, you can put it on the chat, and I'll pick it up one by one from there. So yeah, let's get started. So you can just put in your questions on the chat window, and I'll be picking it up from there. So first, I can see you raising your hand. Whatever it is, kindly put it on the chat. I'll pick it up from there. Okay, Sarah says, please suggest some renowned certificate for our resume that we can complete in this time. So Sarah, there are a number of platforms available which has some free and paid courses as well, like Udemy is there, even Grey Atom is there for that matter. So again, depending on like what kind of depth you are looking your knowledge into, and what kind of area you want to expertise. But then again, this certificate wouldn't help you. I would suggest that apart from certificate, projects would be more beneficial. Add links to your GitHub profile instead of having a renowned certificate. Work on your profile on GitHub, put up your projects on LinkedIn as well, and then include them in your resume. Start writing blogs, make an account on Medium, then use those in your resume, so that would give you more visibility instead of just having a renowned certificate. So I guess that answers your questions. Okay, so everyone over here are graduated. I'm in a second year. I need guidance, which skills I need. So Muraf, I'm not sure about like what is the background of the participants in the meeting room. Maybe you can connect with them individually and just see what they are doing and how you can utilize it for your learning. But again, for you, what I would recommend, what skills you need is the secondary thing. First, you need to identify where your interest lies. If you want to come into a data science, so the skills that you would require be coding skills 1, and then stats and math skills 2, and communication skills 3. So these 3 skills would be very much important and mandatory in a field of data science. Again, going deeper into like which algorithm or uh, uh, which algorithm or which sector you would be catering to, that is, maybe it can be too soon for you to pick up. You can just start with the coding and the stats and math skills. Okay, so Sarah, I guess so there was a webinar on Saturday for the data structures. I'm not sure like if that link can be shared over here. Maybe you can just put it on Telegram and see, or I'll just get it checked. But right now that isn't available for me, and I'm really not sure if that can be shared with you. Like, as that webinar was not a part of this boot camp. Okay, so is diploma in computer engineering eligible for data science? So at least you need to have a bachelor's degree. I'm not sure like if companies are just entertaining with a diploma degree. A full-time bachelor's degree is a must. So will it be easy for embedded engineer to move towards data science field? What will be the challenges? So if you are, I'm not sure like what would be your the skills that would put you ahead over here as an embedded engineer, but the skills that would help you move ahead in the data science field would be the coding and maths and stats. The challenges that you can face, again, if you just tell me a little more detail about what exactly as an embedded engineer you are doing, maybe I'll be able to tell you a bit more about that. So yes, Faiz, if you are doing electronic engineering, you are eligible for data science. It is just you need a basic graduation or any graduation, not even necessarily a BTech or something, any graduation degree, and then you would be able, you would be eligible for the course. It is not a requirement for our course, but for the industries that look up for the uh, uh, candidates, they have a minimum requirement of any like bachelor's degree. And yeah, like with some good projects even in the electronics engineering, I think you would be able to crack some, you should be able to crack some opportunities. So Haider says, I'm in second year of BSc Computer Science. What other skills? Yeah, what other skills should I learn after this course? So like I already said, the core skills required in data science is coding, maths and stats, and communication. So yeah, the coding thing I think would definitely come with the BSc Computer Science part. Alternatively, you can start working on your maths and stats skills. Having a very strong foundation in mathematics and statistics is really very important for anybody to come into this field. Plus, communication skill is equally important, and that should definitely come once you start interacting with your peer, with anybody, like once you start presenting your cases, once you start blogging. So those skills would fall into places. So yes, Akash, it is very, very mandatory to get familiar, not only familiar with statistics and probability, but you need to master these concepts, because this is the foundation. If you do not understand what a basic statistics is, what the basic theory of probabilities are, it would be very difficult for you to understand any algorithm ahead and then interpreting the any result, any solution. So it is very, very, very important to have your stats and probability on tip. Okay, so Tejas, how to qualify in Code Jam round 1? Okay, so I'm not sure about like what Code Jam are you referring to? If you can just tell me a little more, is it some kind of hackathon or what it is? I would require to go through the requirements over there. Okay, GP saying, I need a big database. Can you please arrange it for us? So GP, arranging a big database is not something that we can do for you, but yeah, I can suggest you resources wherein like you can look for data around. So again, what kind of data set is it, just for the project purpose, or what is your requirement over here? There are data available online, so there is data available on Kaggle. There are many uh, hackathons conducted across the globe, so you can start participating in those hackathons, so that then you will be able to access their data. But for us to arrange any database for you is not something we would be able to do. Okay, guys, I just see Junaid says no audio coming. Kindly confirm if that is the case. Junaid, I guess others are able to hear me. So Monica says, is Telegram group is there to this? If yes, please add me in. So Monica, you can refer to the email which you would have received. It has a link to the Telegram group. You can just get yourself into the group from there. Alternatively, what I can do towards the end of the session, I would share the link of the Telegram group over here, and you can register yourself over there. Okay, so Sarah says, if data scientists spend most of their time with libraries of Python, how important or necessary to be skilled in SQL? So Sarah, a very good question indeed. So again, when you spend your time with libraries of Python, so that would be coming in later. SQL would help you getting your data in place. So as a data scientist, the first step would always be to identify what your problem is and how you are going to approach. And then the second stage would be getting the data, getting the correct data. So over there, it is not only the Python libraries, though Python libraries like Pandas, Django are there that can be utilized to flitter with data. But then something like SQL or Tableau, if you have those skills, would be very good for you to play with the data, to get your data in the desired format. So I would suggest, though it is not mandatory, but it is a very good to have SQL skill. Even most of the companies, they do look for something like this. Okay, so Harsh says he's in a second year BTech. What should I do to become a good data scientist? Harsh, like I said, you need to focus on the three skills, which is the coding skill, math, stats, and the communication skills. Along with that, you can start working on your some projects. You can start participating in some hackathons being conducted. You can start going through the Kaggle kernels and build out your portfolio. Having some good projects on your resume by the end of your course would really help you get into a good job. So portfolio versus degree, which has more preference? I know having degree is gen. So Subhash, having a degree would just might get you a call, but even portfolio would get you a call. So there are companies which do consider degrees as well, who look just for a tier 1 college or a tier 1 university, but at the end, degree alone would never help you out. Even if you're having a degree from a tier 1 college, you need to have knowledge, you need to have a very strong portfolio. So for me, I would say degree can take a second seat. Portfolio is very, very, very important. So Vicky says he wants to be a digital entrepreneur, and should I learn data science and coding for my future startups? So Vicky, again, it all depends on what is your future plan, what kind of startup you are planning to have, and how you are going to leverage data science into it. If that is of your interest, and if you feel you are going to leverage it, it is definitely, it will any kind of startup, any kind of organization, data science would definitely will help in a way or the other in terms of making some decisions. But then again, how you are going to leverage it, what your interests are, would help you take a call better. Okay, so Faiz, I really don't get what you're trying to say over here. If you can just tell me more, data science is easy or not, say about any basic steps. Maybe if you can just give me more context over here. So ma'am, which type of coding, like does it mean competitive coding? So Gautam, it is not necessarily competitive coding, but then organizations, even many places, like the first level of the first criteria to shortlist a candidate is the coding skills. So you might expect some coding tests by the companies as well. Yes, so a bit of topic, but how do I know where to stop learning statistics? I have seen some courses cover too much statistics. They have more than. Okay, so Suhaib, I believe if you would have subscribed to the Grey Atoms data science program, you get an outline over there. If not, please go ahead. The email what you would have received, or if you just scroll through the Telegram, you would find the link to the program over there. That program would give you a outline of whatever content is required. So yeah, your question is very correct. You don't know where to stop, so the deeper you go, the more and more is there to learn. We have statistics and mathematics is a very vast field. So if you just want a guideline with the concepts, I would suggest you refer to our program. The outline over there would give you the sufficient content to get started with. So, Rishi, again, after doing any course, so you need to have a very strong portfolio. You need to have a few good projects on your resume that would help you transition from any domain into data science. So it is like along with just doing any course might not be of great help, but you need to do a lot of projects. You need to participate in the hackathon, so those will help you develop your skills as well, and then you can start applying. So yeah, Subhash says Kaggle is good for data set. Indeed it is. Okay, so Google's online coding competition is CodeJam. So Tejas, I'm not sure what are the criterias, what are the requirements over here. I'll need to explore that before I can answer. Okay, so Faiz says how many types of data science. So Faiz, basically there are no type of data science. Data science is an end-to-end solving a problem, solving any business problem using the data science tools. So it has different parts, like it has data engineering, it has model building, it has model deployment, but there are no types as such. So Sarah, again, it depends on organization to organization. There is a huge possibility that every organization might not have data engineer. Most of the places, even a data scientist is required to do everything like processing from data to getting the data into the correct place. So it is not necessary that every team would have a data engineer. So at times, yeah, data scientists, they do need to work a lot with data, and trust me, 80% of your time would go into just collecting and getting the data right. Yeah, Monica, so towards the end of the session, I would be sharing the Telegram link. Kindly bear with me. So Haider says, what is the role of communication in data science? So a role of communication in terms of, first thing, you would need to understand what the business problem is, and that is the stakeholders would let you know. So trust me, the stakeholders most of the time wouldn't have any technical knowledge. So you need to communicate a lot with them to understand first what the problem is, and then secondly and more importantly, to communicate what is your finding and what are your suggestions to the business. You would need your communication skills, because you would be communicating a lot, not only with the stakeholders but with the other teams as well. So Tejas, is hackathon important in colleges? So a hackathon might not be important in colleges, but if you are applying for a job in data science, hackathons are very important, because in a way that helps you build up a project. Okay, so Rohan says sometimes outliers create problem. How to deal with this? They are also important. I'm using Matplotlib to plot data into graph, but outliers can create again. So Rohan, there are certain ways to deal with outliers. So yeah, outliers can be important many a time. So let's suppose, say, when we are trying to identify a fraudulent transaction. So maybe there is just 2 or 3 in 100 transaction, or maybe 2 and 3 in thousands of transaction that is fraudulent. So over here, it is the outlier which is of our interest. So they can be very important. Again, how to treat them would depend on the type of data that you are dealing with. If you have a continuous data, you might want to treat the outliers with mean. If you just have a categorical data, you would just want to treat them with a mode. If you want to if you have a categorical data but you are not willing to go ahead with mean, you can go ahead with median as well. So it again depends on the kind of data you are working with. So there are certain tricks that you need to know. So once you start working on more and more data, so these are few basic tricks that I gave you right now. If it is a continuous, it can be either mean or median, but if it is a categorical, it is always mode. So once you start working more and more, you would be able to remember them quickly. So Sarthak, yeah, if you complete the data science master's program, there is a certification, there is a certificate at the end of the course that would be generated to you. And of course, you can put it on your LinkedIn profile, you can put it on your resume, and that do counts, that having a diploma in data science. Okay, so Rishi, I did not skip the question. Maybe it just went up in the flow. Maybe you can, if you can just put it ahead, I would be more than happy to take it up. Okay, so Muraf, how much a data scientist get paid in India? So Muraf, I think it all depends on how much experience you have. I would not put a figure over here, definitely. But yeah, once you are just starting, the pay is, I wouldn't say great. It is okay, it is good. But as you build up your experience, as you gain more and more hands-on, more and more knowledge, there is a exponential hike as well. So Monica, best way of learning machine learning algorithms. Also, can you please share the real eyes videos and materials on Telegram? Okay, so Monica, the best way of learning machine learning algorithms would be, I would say, maybe you can pick up tutorials. There are tutorials on YouTube. There are tutorials on Kaggle as well. So there are other places wherein you can find tutorials. There are channels like 3 Blue 1 Brown, which really explains the algorithms nicely along with the example. But as soon as you are learning, simultaneously start applying it as well on a small data set, so that your concepts are cleared. So just don't try to take in all of theory together, simultaneously start implementing as well, so that would give you more clarity. So I'm glad you got the link of the Telegram. I'll try to share the videos over there. Okay, so hey, it is not same everywhere. Each company might not have a different team of data engineer and a different team of data scientist. It again depends from organization to organization how they have defined the role. It all depends. So like if the organization is small, they might not have a dedicated team of data engineer. They might not have a dedicated team of a Python engineer or a ML engineer. A data scientist might be required to do end-to-end pipeline. So how is data visualization done, like Python only or necessarily some tools? So Sarah, there are a number of tools available, like right now we talked about Tableau. So Tableau is one fantastic tool that you can use for visualizing data. You can also, like in Python, there is a Matplotlib, and then there is a Seaborn, which comes very handy when you are trying to visualize data. So what you need to do, you need to start studying data right from the first feature. You need to explore each and every feature. You need to understand what kind of information, how much information is contained, and then start visualizing. So there are other tools as well, like Tableau, that you can explore. So Tejas, where to get hackathons based on data science and programming? So Tejas, like I shared last session, a platform like Analytics Vidya, like Kaggle, Hacker Earth, really have some good hackathons, and it is like at any point in time, you would find a number of ongoing hackathons. So Hyder Ali, is maths similar in ML and DL? So Hyder Ali, it is not similar, but then yes, it is once a DL is one step ahead of what ML is. So whatever the foundations you would be building on mathematics for machine learning, that would be appropriate, and whatever would be required over and above, if you are good over here, if you have picked it up over here, that shouldn't be a problem in DL as well. So Aditya, is GLab would be enough for NumPy? So yes, Aditya, the content for NumPy is sufficient on GLabs, but to practice more, I would definitely suggest, don't only limit yourself to the exercises on GLabs, the learning content you can limit yourself to, but you need to practice more and more. So to practice, definitely you'll need to get down to your local system and start practicing. Okay, so Tejas, what is the main difference between machine learning and data science? So machine learning is nothing but a part of data science. Data science is a one big domain, one big umbrella, wherein machine learning is just one portion. So imagine like you have a data, first identifying the problem, and then getting the data, and then training the model on the data. So this, when you are training the model on the data, comes into the machine learning part. And after you train the model, and then you have your decisions and then communication. So this entire pipeline together is data science. So Suraj, it is not necessary to have a data science certification, but then yes, you really need to. At times, it is helpful to get the first call, but it is not mandatory. Nobody ever says that you need to have a certification in data science, but to get yourself shortlisted, it is helpful at times. Still, if you are not having, if you do not have a certificate, but you have a very strong portfolio, if you have a very strong profile, that can equivalently do a job, I believe. Okay, so Rishi Raj says, as a beginner, I've just started learning Python for data science. However, I had been in data science for quite some time. What would be your suggestion for getting an internship in data science for a newbie like me? My profession, I'm solo, and like, okay, so Rishi, you need to start applying to more and more. Sorry. So you need to start applying to more and more opportunities, and once you start applying, okay, it might not be possible that you have applied and everybody would respond back to you. So the key is you should just continue applying everywhere, and along with that, start working on some projects which you can put on your portfolio. With good projects on a portfolio, the chances are very high that you would get a call. And then again, once you get a call, it is solely on your knowledge, on your skills, whether you are able to convert it or not. So there are many ML algorithms. How do we come to know which one to apply for better model accuracy? So Shruti, so this is something which will only come to you once you have knowledge of, you know, all kinds of algorithms. So which algorithm to be used in different situation. So depending on the situation, depending on your scenario, you can pick up a model. So let's suppose, say the scenario is something like predicting something which is continuous, like sales, or predicting a price. So over there, a model like linear regression would come into play. But if you are predicting something which is categorical in nature, maybe they would just want to predict whether the customer would buy my product or not, either yes or no. So over here, I can go for a classification algorithm. So having a knowledge for all the algorithms and the situations, scenarios where they are useful, would only help you able only help you able to figure out where to apply which algorithm. So again, coming to model accuracy, there are different matrices wherein you can check the performance of your model. That would also be dependent on the problem statement that you're solving. So Junaid, what should we do alongside with data science? Just to work on your project, build more and more projects. If you are willing to get into a data science field, if you want to do something extra, build projects, participate in a hackathon and all, have a very strong portfolio. So Dharmik says the basic knowledge is enough of Python, or it's required OOPS and design patterns level knowledge for data science. So basic knowledge might not be enough. Again, it depends on what level are you getting into the industry. If you are getting at a really like high level, maybe then basic knowledge is sufficient. But if you are going at a associate level, at an entry level, whether you would require to do a lot of coding, so then basic knowledge wouldn't be enough, because you would be working in teams. So it is not only you that would be accessing your code. There would be other people, the same code is shared between the entire team. So you would require to have an in-depth knowledge of the coding as well. So So either you can explore again like Kaggle platform for the ML projects. Which tool or module are used for prediction type project? So again, it depends on what kind of prediction you are going to make. Like I said some time back, whether it is a continuous prediction that you are trying to make or it is a categorical. So that would help you identify what tool basically you are going to use. But most of the time, sklearn is suffice. It has almost everything. Along with coding, maths and yes, of course. So coding and maths together is required for AI, ML, DL. So these are the basic skills. But if you want to apply these skills, ultimately you would be need to understand what the foundations are and only then move to the more advanced concepts. Can we do some code lists? So I'm not sure if you attended them, but as for today, going forward, we don't have any code alongs. So what kind of project would you recommend to be explicit enough and stand out? Will the project on GLab platform be enough or something beyond that? Okay, so Rishi, what kind of project is not important? So if you are participating in a hackathon, you are not the only one who's participating in the hackathon. There are thousands of other participants as well. So, you know, your project would not be unique, definitely, but then your approach would be unique. What innovation you have got into that project would be unique. Even if you are working on a project on GLab, try taking it down to the local system and have your own innovations aligned over there. Do not just follow the instructions what is there on the platform. Definitely, like you can see the entire universe would the entire GLabs universe would do the same project. They would follow the same step, so that wouldn't help you stand out. Whatever innovation you can add to that project, try solving it offline, try having another approach, try designing different problem statement altogether as well, and then have a solution for that. That would help you stand out from the other learners. And it is not only for GLab, it is for the any competition, any hackathon. So Anurag says, which language do I choose for data science, Python or R? So Anurag, you can go with either one of them. Personally, I would go with Python because it is easy to learn. It is R is more towards more is of a statistical tool kind of thing, only related to these statistics. The libraries are there, but Python is a general purpose programming language, so you will have more freehand doing any task in Python. So Zara, I do not have a GitHub account. Most probably I'll be able to put 2-3 projects on it. Would you suggest something on starting with GitHub? So Sarah, if you have subscribed to our program on, if you have subscribed to this program, Grey Atoms Data Science Masters program, every concept would have a project at the end. So what I would suggest, once you have done with the project, start pushing all the project onto your GitHub. Not only that, try doing all the projects offline with a different approach as well, and push each one of them on GitHub. So that would be a good start for you, and then going ahead you can continue working. Okay, so Mitri, I guess the others are able to hear me. Maybe you can just check if there is some issue from your end with the audio. So is there any requirement in the industry for project managers who know, product managers who know data science? So yeah, the requirement keeps on coming in. You, develop your network, have more connections on LinkedIn, interact with more people, and explore what are the opportunities in their organizations. And also on LinkedIn, you will be able to find upcoming opportunities. As an individual, how many hackathon you have attended and how many you have cracked it. So Chirag, it is not about just having the first first two positions in a hackathon. So it is just that you are able to develop a end-to-end solution to any problem statement. So I have participated in like more than 7 to 8 hackathons as of today, and yeah, I was able to solve it. Okay, so when I talk about innovation, you need to see what kind of innovation you can bring into a project. So let's suppose, say, I would give you an example. So I was working on a project wherein I had to suggest where to go for an advertisement during the video. So let's suppose a video is running on Hotstar. So at what time should we run a ad campaign that would help us cater to the maximum audience? So over there, different kind of innovation you can come up into. We just have a raw data. So I need to see whether the city where my audience is it a metropolitan city or not, is it a tier 2 city or a tier 3 city. So any data wouldn't tell you. You have a city column that wouldn't tell you that it is a metro city or it is a tier 2 city. You have to classify it. When you have something like time, they'll just give you time. How do you interpret that time? Whether you bucket the time into 6 buckets across the day, or you bucket it into 8 buckets or 4 buckets. So those are different kind of innovations that you can bring out from your end. If you can if you are able to get some relations between the days. Let's suppose, say for my case, I would say the ad campaign would be more successful if it is running on a Friday night. So how Friday night? Why Friday night? Is it because most people view it on Friday night or Saturday? So those are the different kind of innovations depending on the data that you already have. These are the different approaches. These are the different tweaks you can apply with data that would help you come with different answers and different features altogether. So these would be some innovations that you can try. Okay, so VK, I have not yet done any project on chatbot building, but then I just explored it. Even like in if you enroll for a Grey Atom data science program with NLP, we have a chatbot building project over there. But personally, I haven't worked on any chatbot as of now. So guys, we are waiting for more questions. Whatever you have, please put it here. Okay, so Rishi, you have got 2 years of experience in different industry, and over the past 1.5 years, I have been honing my skills in data science, but I'm not getting a break. What would you suggest for me? So first of all, I would like to understand when you're saying you are not getting a break, that is in terms of you are not getting a first level call, or if you are getting a call and you are not able to convert it. So these two would have a completely different approach. So if you can just help me with where exactly are you facing a problem? Okay, so you're getting a call, but you're not able to convert it. So I think so. Then that is the answer. If you are getting a call and you're not able to convert it, that means you would be in a better place to see what are the skills you feel you lack during the interview. Is it the technical skills solely, or is it the practical application in terms of projects? Do you have good projects to put up to explain during the interviews, or you get stuck with the technical thing? Are you able to clear the coding rounds if there are any? So you need to just sit and think, where do you think you lack, where, because I'm sure you would be able to reflect on how you performed, what were the areas you could have performed better, and then you'll have your answers. So for data analysts, do we require to learn any tool? So Suraj, it is not, any tool is not mandatory, but then yes, having knowledge, a very good knowledge in Excel and SQL is a very advantage, a very plus for any opportunity as a data analyst. Most of them, they would mention something like this. So what are the fintech opportunities that you feel are available for new startup idea, given the already available lot of fintech startups? VK, I think this is not the agenda over here. So I'll skip this for now. What's there for a IT person having experience 10 years? I mean, what should be my approach to move a data science field? So Aditya, first thing I would say, you need to understand, you need to have it very clear how you're going to utilize these 10 years of experience into data science. So I would suggest, if you would be definitely like entering at some top level. So for that, you can have a domain knowledge or expertise in the domain knowledge what you are currently working on, and then club it along with the data science, and then look for something like a manager role in the data science, because that would also help you do justify to your past experience, and that would be beneficial for the role as well, because you will be able to use your domain expertise there. So Chirag says, can you share some examples where you feel that is important for beginner? So Chirag, if you can give more context, what kind of examples are you talking about? Is it about the project or what? So I know PHP and web development as well. Is it useful for me to expand my skills with data science skills in future? So GP, I would suggest first you need to figure out like where, what is the area you need to gain the expertise on. It is not also like, I would not suggest that you just start picking up skills from everything like here and there. But if you really work, if you really want, if you want to get into a data science domain, only then pick up data science and brush up your skills over there. So Sarah says, for working professional, at times it becomes easy to give up as they are experienced in a specific skill set. They think that I can also get a job more easily in my own domain rather than working double hard, not able to match up the experienced data science. How to keep up the motivation? switching the field. So yeah, Sarah, if you have a good experience, if you really have a good number of years, you have worked into a certain domain, I'm sure like you will have the in-depth knowledge of every working in here and there, how everything in and out of the work that is done over there. So that solely would be the motivation for you, because you would know how what kind of problems the business would face and how you would be able to approach those problems. So it would be very easy for you. You said it correctly over here. It would be very easy for you to transition into same domain, because over there you would have the domain expertise. Okay, so Suhaib, I personally don't think that this will become obsolete, even if few companies like are offering data cleaning and various ML algorithms with a click of button. You need somebody to comprehend it. You need somebody to run through it. You would be needing somebody who can communicate the results from these tools. It is not just that with a click of button anybody can generate a result, or anybody can understand what the result is. You would be requiring you would require human knowledge to interpret that. So what should be skills acquiring sequence like Python and tools, etc., for experienced person want to shift toward data science? So Aditya, like I already said, the skills that would be required would be the coding skills, the maths and stats skills. So these two are very important skills, and yes, not to forget the communication skills. Okay, so I don't have any personal experience in this space. What I would recommend to you, you look for the projects in these domain on Kaggle. So there are many projects available on Kaggle. You just go through them. You pick one from there, and from there you just build a one end-to-end solution for yourself. That would give you a better understanding, a clearer idea. So Suraj says, what if we practice on any project of Kaggle and also we add the same project into our portfolio or resume, or do we need to work on different projects? So Suraj, that is what I said. So you will not be the only one who is working on the project, and yeah, there is solution as well. So you need to have your own end-to-end solution with your own approach, with your own innovations. Only then it would help you stand out from the others who have also worked on the same project. Okay, so Sarah says, so any motivation, because this much extra effort in our own domain will also be a good choice. So Sarah, I'm really not sure what kind of motivation you are referring to, because this will, if you are transitioning into any domain, if you are transitioning into a data science, that would really give you a very good growth in your future. So if you are referring to any personal motivation or any individual motivation, so maybe like you can start exploring LinkedIn, how data scientists, they have transitions from one field into another, how their journey have been there. You can start reading there as well. Okay, so VK says the entire core code which can be applied across multiple applications, or does it mean from data cleaning to coding up to deploying the code, what would be considered as end to end? So this again varies from organization to organization. If you go to a big organization, they can have a different team to collect data. They can have a different team to clean data. There would be a different team to deploy the model. But if you will also come across the organizations where the teams are really small, and there's the data scientist, there's just one team of data scientists who just deal with the teams into different domains of the different departments, and they work end to end. So just see what organization or what description they have for the job, and it varies. There is no standard definition of the role. It varies organization to organization. Okay, so is this course enough for an interview? So Anurag, honestly speaking, this course alone would not be enough for an interview. Apart from this, you would require more projects that you would be able to explain. And yeah, even right, apart from explaining projects, that would give you a more technical knowledge, a more strong knowledge. So honestly, this course alone wouldn't be enough. You would have to read more from other resources as well. You will have to work on different projects as well. Okay, so Sarah, so definitely it wouldn't be difficult to become a data scientist, provided you are putting effort. So let me tell you, if you just if you decide, and if you put a thorough effort of 2 to 3 hours every day, it is not at all difficult. Once you have all the skills, I am sure by now you have the idea what are the skills required over here. If you just put the effort, if the dedication is there from it, it is not at all going to be difficult. So Rishi says, is it possible in India to get hired as a data scientist if I come from different domain, not from tier 1 institute, and also do not have master degree, just hone my skills through online courses? So yes, yes, Rishi, it is very much possible. If you have a good portfolio, if your profile stands out, you can definitely do that. Okay, guys, so this brings us to the end of the session. I would just share the link to the Telegram channel over here, because I see another request, and then we'll be wrapping up. So just hold on for a moment. Yeah. So guys, I've just shared the link to the Telegram. You can get yourself on here. So thank you so much, guys, for joining in the session. Have a great day ahead. Thank you.